Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now today's video is much more of a discussion than it is a review, so I'll come out up front and tell you I am looking for comments. I am looking for people who have advice to weigh in here. I want this to be a dialogue, a little back and forth, so if you have some comments about this video, please weigh in. So today's video is going to be a little bit interesting. I have a concept in mind, and this revolves around maybe somebody who you know that you wish you could get into backpacking and hiking, yet they don't have any gear. Now you're trying to make some recommendations on what they should buy, what direction they should go in, where they need to spend their money, where they need to be careful. So really what I'm looking for is what items can you sort of go maybe a little bit over the top with, spend a little more money, which items need to be sort of that higher end, but even more importantly, which ones can you kind of skimp on? Where can you get away with cutting some corners, cutting some costs, and maybe getting something that's just a little less expensive than some of the other gear out there? And maybe it's not even just a little less. Maybe it's like a lot less. And this allows you to really expand your kit and get a substantial head start on building your hobby, getting out into these areas, whether it's the mountains or the woods or just enjoying the outdoors. Now let's be honest, there's nobody that can really afford 100% of what they need. I mean, yeah, you may have a budget and some people higher than lower, but I'm talking how can you get somebody started in a hobby that, quite honestly, is pretty expensive. Now with that said, I have some products to take a look at today. I have what I'm considering to be a high-end product and something that is very much on the budget end. And so I want to take a quick look at these, compare and contrast them to see what type of value we're going to get out of a budget item. If you're interested in seeing what I have to talk about, do me a favor. Stay tuned. So here I have two sets of products. Here I have what I'm calling my high-end products, being a set of Outdoor Research Crocodile XL Gore-Tex Gaiters. Now I paid about $85 for these. That's pretty much the going rate at this time. And also I have a set of Kathoola Microspikes. This is the size extra large, and I paid about 70 bucks. So total value here of about $155. And on this side, similar products. This is a budget company by the name of Kuyou. And no, I do not mean Kuyou, the high-end backpack and hunting manufacturer. I mean Kuyou, the outdoor outfitter who has all sorts of things from budget knee pads all the way up through hiking and camping gear and all sorts of other things. So anyhow, this here is the Tubon Gear XL Gaiters, which have a value of $10, and the Kuyou 8-tooth ice cleats at a value of $16 for a total price of around 26 bucks. So 155 versus 26. Now this to me is kind of a dividing line. I'm like, wow, that is like a major difference. Literally 6 times the price. Does that mean that these are 6 times better? Well, who really knows? So I'm interested in figuring out other products like this. So this is my example, but I'm reaching out to you and saying, do you have products that are similar that you can think of where there's a big difference between the high-end products and the low-end products, and where you can really get away with spending less money than the high-end gear? But in order for me to draw a conclusion on this particular example, I think I need to look at these with detail, understand what it is about these premium products that make them that much more expensive, to see if these lesser quality products are even going to be something that's feasible or capable of performing when you need them. So with that said, let's get a closer look at the details to match these up side by side. Now a quick look at the Outdoor Research Gaiters. These are a Gore-Tex material. They have a buckle on top, a full length from top to bottom Velcro enclosure with an additional enclosure on the bottom to help keep these closed. There is a little latch that kind of connects to your shoes to keep them really on your laces and keep everything nice and tight. There's a heavy-duty strap on the bottom. This has metal buckles and then a little loop here, so if you had some excess strap, it would go tuck up inside here and kind of get tucked away so it's not flapping all over the place. When you look at the overall shape, these are reasonably contoured to the shape of your feet, so it has a little bit of a bell on the bottom, and overall just helps it to sit just a little bit nicer around your boots. Taking a quick look at the tube-on gear, here you have a full-length Velcro. Now, when you compare that to the Outdoor Research Velcro is 2 inches wide. The Velcro on this unit is, call it, 1¼ inches. So a little less in terms of width on the Velcro, but it does have it from the top to the bottom. Now, the bottom of these does not necessarily have that additional flap to help hold this shut, so I'm afraid that these may potentially pull open with use, but only time will tell. Now, these also do have that same exact latch on the bottom, helping to connect it to your boot laces, so that is an excellent feature, and I'm glad that it's there. The strap on the bottom feels a little bit like plastic, and this has a plastic buckle on the side. So here you have a metal buckle on the Outdoor Research with a whole bunch of holes going down the length of the strap, and then the metal buckle poking through to hold it in place. This is basically a friction fit that has a plastic buckle on the side, so hopefully this thing will stay in place and not slide up and down. And then on the top, this does have similar retention to go around your calf area, but this is a plastic strap, but it's basically a friction fit. This is a little bit different where it has sort of a snap enclosure to allow you to adjust it and snap it shut. Now, I'll be honest, I do think this might be a little bit of a better mechanism simply because I have used these extensively and I find this opens up a lot. But it hasn't really bothered me too much. I think it's just that this pulls and kind of opens the thing up. So I'm hoping this is a good quality buckle overall to hold the strap in place. And finally, the overall length here is about 16 inches. So you do get a little bit more length here out of the Outdoor Research. You get that Gore-Tex versus the 500D material, a little more Velcro running down the side, a little bit higher in terms of the quality of the buckles. So again, is this something that has a really major, substantial difference in its overall ability to perform? Only time will tell. Taking a look at the Kathoola Microspikes, here you'll see it does have a little nylon pouch, which is nice. Opening these up and spreading them out so you can see the overall shape. This is a reasonably large open shape. This fits easily over large boots like winter boots and things like that. So very nice shape, good quality, pliable rubber. It's durable and has lasted me a number of hikes. Now, I do have just a touch of damage on these. However, that's pretty much a self-inflicted wound, probably by stepping on them while I was wearing my other spikes. And unfortunately, that's something that happens. But overall, I have to say I've been very happy with these, and I've worn these on, I'd say, 6 pretty serious outdoor mountain hikes. Now, flipping them over and getting into the spikes, here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 quality spikes on the bottom of these micro spikes. They do seem to be durable overall, very sturdy. Now you can see that some of the little links between these have been bent over time. Again, keeping in mind that I've worn these in very rocky and mountainous terrain, so they have taken a bit of a beating. But overall, nothing has broken. Nothing has really significantly bent beyond my ability to wear these. And again, apart from just a little bit of damage, these have held up quite nice. Now, getting a quick look at the damage, you'll see here that there is just a little bit of a cut on the front of this particular micro spike. I'm hoping this will survive and not tear any further. I'm not sure when it occurred. I don't know if it was one of my most recent hikes or when it happened, but I did note this when I was looking at these the other day. So I have sustained just a little bit of damage. Now, this is almost like a dual material where this link connects to its point here. This actually gives it a good sturdy and quality connection on the rubber, and you'll see when you pull this, it does not stretch or oblong out at all. That is very important. That's a very important feature and something that I think is a big differentiator between these Kathoolas and really the product I'm about to show you. So with that said, these are the Kuyou 8-tooth ice cleats. So these do have a nylon pouch. I actually kind of like it. It's a simple pouch, but it actually works very well, and I like it that it's very flat in nature. Makes it very easy to pack. Spreading out the microspike here, you'll see it is an extreme circle. This is not an oval shape, which is really the shape of your foot. So I don't exactly understand that. This is a little bit, I don't know, kind of odd to me. I don't understand why these would be round, literally a perfect circle, versus it being more the shape of your foot. But with that said, flipping it over, again, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spikes, as I mentioned. So an 8 spike design. And then the links that actually hold this all together are just a little bit thinner than what you have on the Kathoola Microspikes. Now, keeping in mind that I have not used these yet, so the links are in perfect shape, so there's nothing that's bent, nothing out of place, and I'm really curious to see how these hold up after using them in the mountains. Now, one of the things that has me nervous about these spikes is the fact that these do not have that dual rubber, so you'll see as I tension these, it does oblong out the connection point where this link meets up with the rubber. Now, at this point, the only thing I wish I could have done is taken both of these products out into the field to give you a quality side-by-side comparison of how these performed in the mountains. Now, I really wish I could have done that, but at this point, I'm sort of thinking that the winter is on the outs, and I may not have an opportunity to do that just yet, so it may be a while before we see this exact comparison. However, I do have, real briefly, another product that I would like to show you. Here I have some trekking poles from a company called Alpine Summit. Now, these aren't exactly extremely low grade or low budget items, but they are certainly not high end. And unfortunately for me, I suffered a catastrophic failure on one of these poles literally the very first time I tried to use them. So in that regard, these are actually pretty nice when you look at them. It has overall excellent features, a nice cork handle, well constructed. These are carbon fiber poles. They have good telescoping ability, but unfortunately one of these plastic latches broke on me the very first time I tried to use it. And I am even cognizant of the fact that you cannot overly stress these. I tried to go extremely gentle. However, it was in extreme cold, and unfortunately the very first time I tried to use these, they snapped. And at that point, I mean, what do? You know, you're committed to a hike. I was all the way out at my location where I was going to hike. Luckily, I just happened to have a second set of poles with me, so it kind of saved me. Now, at this point, I've been going back and forth, trying to get some information out of the company. I'm trying to see if these can even be covered by warranty. Literally brand new, never used. So the follow-up to this is, you know, one of a couple of things. I mean, of course, do your homework, do your research, but that's what we're talking about here. So, you know, for me, is a set of trekking poles in the like $40 to $50 range budget item? Do you need to spend more? I mean, at this point, the things are snapped. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get these replaced, and I've never even used them. So what is that worth? I mean, I have to spend at least this money again to get these back. Now I'm into poles for $100. Well, I should have spent $100 in the first place. You know, all these little plastic mechanisms and all the cheap things that come on the lesser quality products, at some way, shape, or form, you're gonna pay the price. So all right, guys, there you have it. A real quick look at a number of products, trying to determine whether or not you need to spend a premium price or you can get away with budget items. Again, I am looking for your advice, your experience, and anything you can weigh in on to give us some ideas about where you think you need to spend the money, but more importantly, where you think you can get away with kind of cutting some corners and keeping it cheap. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.